Benjamin Franklin was a busy man back in his day. I don't even know how someone can accomplish this in one lifetime, but he was one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, a postmaster, an inventor, an ambassador to France, an author, a scientist, and probably more, but I happen to be out of hats right now, so we'll just stay on this one. Franklin made many enduring contributions to different areas of science, but maybe most notably to the study of electricity. So we here at Z-Space created an interactive laboratory and named it after him. Ladies and gentlemen, and curious, eager minds alike, welcome to Franklin's Lab. Okay, let's start with the tools and functions available to us here in Franklin's Lab. Over here we have our main menu, filled mostly with functions you'll recognize in the Z-Space learning apps. These include hiding and showing labels, turning Z-View on and off, opening your photo gallery, settings, saving, and going back to the main menu. And over here we have the Franklin's Lab backpack of supplies, complete with all sorts of circuit-related materials. We have batteries, wires, resistors, lights, motors, and switches. Sometimes you may open a pre-built activity that has limits set in the backpack of supplies, causing some objects to be grayed out. But if you're not doing an activity and simply freestyling in the sandbox mode in Franklin's Lab, all of the materials and functions should be available and unlimited. And our work area here is a breadboard, but it's not for bread, it's for the things that I just showed you in the backpack. Alright, now I'm no electrical engineer, but let me try and build a simple circuit. I know there needs to be a power source, so let me grab one of the batteries. I'm going to pick this 9-volt battery. Now, if I click the right button of the stylus while pointing at the battery, I'll bring up this fun little context menu. And if I click on this green reverse icon, it flips the battery, which just means that it flips the polarity, the negative and positive ends of the battery. Now, just a quick note about context menus. A context menu is the menu that appears when you click the right button of the stylus. If you right-click on a circuit component, you'll see an object-specific context menu. If you right-click on nothing in particular, you'll see a more generic context menu. Alright, let's keep building this circuit. I'm going to bring in a switch. And I'll place it here. Now let's bring in some wires, so that the electrical current has a way to travel from the battery to a motor. Let's go with that. Okay, now I'll flip the switch on, and as you can see, we have a circuit, a complete circuit. There's current flowing and the motor is turning. Now if I go into the context menu for the battery again and switch the polarity, the current reverses and the motor starts turning the other way. You see that? Cool. Now this cute little thing over here is called a multimeter, and when you hover the stylus over the components in your circuit, the multimeter will give you readings of the component's voltage, amps, ohms, and watts. And if you don't know what those things mean, don't worry. You'll learn in Franklin's Lab. Now remember that depending on the activity your teacher has set up for you in Franklin's Lab, it is possible for circuit components to be broken or not working. If you think something is broken and you see that that item has a wrench icon above it, right-click the component to bring up the context menu, then click the wrench icon to be taken to the workbench. Here you can examine the object up close, determine its problem, and try to fix it. These two clips keep the broken object connected to the circuit and will indicate whether or not an electrical current is flowing. Now keep in mind that it is possible for current to be flowing even when a component of your circuit is broken. It all just depends on what specifically is broken. And once you fix it, you can click down back to the breadboard scene here and it will go right back to your circuit. Another thing to remember is that LEDs have specific power and polarity requirements in order to light, and we've provided a special chart to show you these requirements. But just to give you a quick idea, let me switch this motor out with this LED. And thankfully, this resistor does fit within the LED's requirements, but it's still not turning on, even though the switch is on. Oh yeah, the polarity requirement. So I'll right-click to pull up this object's context menu, then I'll flip the polarity, and there we go. Alright, when you're ready to save your activity, you can do so by going to the main menu and clicking on the save icon. And you can log out by clicking on the home button, and also if at any time you want to check who's logged in, simply hover your stylus over the Z-Space portal right here. Now you'll often open an activity in Franklin's Lab that a teacher has already built for you, with questions and instructions, which you can see in this window here. Now you may be asked to answer a question with text, or with a photo, which you can achieve by clicking on this icon, and it turns your stylus into a camera. You can zoom in with the left button on your stylus, and take the photo with the main button. And finally, at the end of the activity, you can send your answers and results to your teacher, or you can create a PDF, and you can pick a place to save that PDF. All right, enough of my talking. It's your turn to explore Franklin's lab.